What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video, your girl has been seeing a lot of videos where people have been talking about fall palettes, fall inspired palettes, and I kind of wanted to do that for me. If you know me, you know I like a lot of cool tones. I do a lot of blue, green and purple looks, so I don't have very many fall toned or fall inspired palettes, so this is a very small curated collection. It's only going to be 5 palettes that I talk about today, and I did record this look. I don't know which video is going to go up, but if it goes up after, I will have it linked down below. If it's up before, I will have it linked in the cards, so eventually it will get connected to the video, if you are wondering. And if you're wondering what the palette was, I used my Blue Moon palette from ColourPop, and this is my first look from my 3 Looks 1 palette, so they should be coming soon-ish. I'm starting to knock out these 3 Looks 1 palettes again. But yeah, let's just get into it. Now, I did just want to do one additional random disclaimer, one extra add-on that I don't intend to use in this countdown, but just in case you're wondering, just like a lot of people and their mother, I do have the Modern Renaissance. I got this when I was first getting into makeup, and I can distinctly remember when I purchased this and it came in the mail and I was like, this is it? This is how small it is? I was highly disappointed, but anyways, I got over it quickly. This is what my Modern Renaissance looks like. Of course, these burgundy-ish tones and these oranges really do work with fall, but this is not a palette that I tend to reach for that much. That is why it's currently in my project pan, in my Pan That palette. I think I'm doing pretty good for me, and for the lack of use that I had prior, this is a lot of use now on this palette, so I'm happy right now. But anyways, that is not in my countdown. I just wanted to let you guys know that is a good palette, and it is a palette that is fall themed, but it's just not a palette that I automatically think to grab when I'm thinking I want to do a fall inspired look. So now I'm going to get into the palettes that I feel that way about. The first one is the smallest, and this is a palette from Igneous Cosmetics. I went ham on this brand last year. They've been a little ghost for a little bit, but the brand has talked to me, and I feel as though they're going to start coming back. And this is called the Cozy Cabin palette. I believe this was one of the palettes that they actually released for their fall collection, and this is what it looks like. It has some warm browns and some warm-ish purples. This is a palette that This is a palette that I do think actually screams fall for me. I have been really loving these like warm colors, but you guys know that I will automatically reach for these purples. So this is like a fall palette for me. It may not be for you because of the purples, but definitely there's no way you can't get use of those neutrals. Those neutrals are very, very pretty. So this is the first palette. Next is a slightly more expensive palette, and this is my Viseart Dark Mattes palette. Now, I got this from a third party, and I just really felt like I needed this in my collection. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't reach for this very often, but when I do, I really do enjoy the looks that I create with it. There's a new Instagram page that I found. I still cannot figure out what this child's Instagram handle is. When I can figure it out, I will be like taping it everywhere so I can always remember the name. If I can find it by the time I edit this video, I will have it on the screen. But she or he compared this palette to the Natasha Denona Safari palette, and I've been like low-key itching to get that palette. So that is going to tell me, and I am giving myself a promise that I'm going to get more use out of this palette before I even consider really purchasing that Safari palette. This is a really pretty palette. You do get some neutrals on this first row, like neutral browns, and then you start to get a dark, colorful rainbow in these next 2 rows. I think this is really pretty. I won't lie to you, my favorite color is this mustardy shade. You guys know I love yellows, love them to death, and I actually think I'm gonna reach for this after I finish this 3 Looks 1 palette. I think I'm gonna reach for this, or maybe I'll reach for it for a work look, because I have plenty of days that I go to work 5 days a week. So yeah, I'm interested. We might be playing with this very soon on my channel, so keep an eye out on that. Next, of course, course I had to talk about this baby. I love this palette. I know a lot of other people didn't, but I do. And this is my Subculture. I love it to death. Now this is an ABH palette that to me just screams fall. I love it. The colors are so dark and rich. They're extremely pigmented, so you don't have to take very much product. And Fudge is actually a pretty perfect crease color for me. It pretty much is my skin tone. So I really love this palette, specifically these three colors back here in the New Wave and Fudge. Those are my favorites. The metallics are nice. They're not the best. I will say I actually prefer the metallics in the what is the other one? The other one that came out for the holiday. I actually prefer that palette's shimmers better, but I do like the colors, so I get my use out of them. And yeah, I can't wait to continue getting use out of this baby. It's a very, very pretty palette. I have 2 palettes left because I only said I was going to talk about 5, and this one was limited edition, but the brand, from what I can remember, brings this back every so often, so maybe they'll bring this back again this fall. And this is the Blush Tribe Fall Fusion palette. Now this is one of my favorite palettes from them. I truly enjoy almost every shade from this palette. The only shade that I don't like is this one right here. It's in Aspen, and I think the shade, the yellow, is just too thin. It's just too thin of a formula, so that when you go to blend it, it basically blends away. But every other color in this palette is outstanding, and this shade right here, Lily, is bomb.com. That formulation is really, really good. That's the first time that I've seen this formulation in a Blush Tribe palette, and I had a pretty good amount of them. I have since decluttered a couple of them, but this one is very, very pretty. And I would say that that's more of like a metallic with glitter, whereas their other ones are just straight up metallic. So very pretty palette, and I would recommend it if they bring it back again for this fall. And then the last palette is from a brand that honestly, I don't know what happened to this brand. I don't know if they're still around. I don't know if they're just, you know, taking their time creating another palette, but I haven't heard much about this brand, and I want to give them some more love because I truly enjoy this palette. And when I think of fall, this is like a good fall palette, and it's actually neutral. Surprise, surprise. And it is the Xuri palette. This is a very, very, very pretty palette. This is what it looks like, and you get some really nice warm mattes. I really love the matte colorations. Very, very pretty. You get one purple and one black, and then you get a really nice group of 6 shimmers. I truly think this is a really not necessarily unique, but an outstanding formulation. That's what this palette has over all of my other palettes. Really, it's a very, very nice formula. And I really hope this brand can come out with some more shades or more palettes, because this really screams fall to me, and I would love to get some more palettes from them in different color schemes. But yeah, that's it. I just kind of want to talk about some palettes that scream fall to me. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know down below what your palettes are in your collection that you think scream fall. If it's a palette I haven't tried or haven't considered, I might want to scoop it up. I'm doing really good in composing myself when it comes to purchasing, even though now I am purchasing again, but I still want to know what you guys love and that I could potentially love. So without further ado, it has been real, y'all. Peace.